But the other irony that also struck me about what Vivek said was he's making this argument that the H-1B folks should be, we should welcome them in. And again, like I would welcome them in, but let's really welcome them in by, letting them use, like it's like welcome in, but you can't use the bathroom or the kitchen.
Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are facing a lot of criticism over their support of H-1B visas. Jeet Heer of The Nation was on The Majority Report with Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland, and they broke all of this down. We're going to take a look at clips from The Majority Report. I'm going to chime in from time to time with my thoughts on this too. Let's check this out together.
No, like you're going to stay here for a couple nights, but you don't get the rights of a U.S. worker. But the other irony is that he's making this case that immigrant culture is better and has a better work ethic and turns out better workers. And it's like, well, wait a second. Why wouldn't this apply to all immigrants? Like, we have, you got construction workers coming in here and they have the same work ethic as the ones working in tech, right? Like it's there, it really starts to fall apart on even the slightest bit of scrutiny. And so how do, getting back to that idea of intervention, like I am all in favor of them, let them fight thing. But there are instances like where it feels like there's opportunities to sumo wrestle a little bit here by saying like, well, we could take H-1Bs would be okay if they had these protections, that protections, but without it, no. I mean, like the idea of like, I'm going to side with one side or the other. I'm against both of their reasonings, frankly.
No. I think that's right. And I think that is actually Bernie Sanders' position. Like, if we're going to have this visa, it has to be like radically reformed and the abuses have to end. But I mean, I would actually go a little bit further than that as well. I mean, I think that the sort of, the policy angle of let's actually make these visas work for everyone and not just for the plutocrats. I think that's one good aspect. I think the other thing to maybe point out, which I think also cracks the Trump coalition perhaps even more, is just to point out, like, this is why Musk joined Trump, right? Like Musk and the other Silicon Valley guys, they're really heavily invested on an idea of a kind of deregulated America where they can get all the government funding that they want and bring all the workers that they want, but not be controlled. And especially Musk is very anti-union. So I think like actually making someone like Musk and the sort of exploitation that he does and the sort of larger Silicon Valley culture does is a way of actually not just addressing the policy point, but actually addressing the sort of broader ideological point, the broader sort of political identity point that Emma pointed to. If you're going to be a party of labor, then you have to point out that yes, we reject the racists like Loomer and Bannon who want to keep America white, but we also reject the sort of people like Musk who are using immigration as a tool for a larger goal of a much more plutocratic, robber baron America.
But what I think,
I wanted to, because this is really important as a model going forward, because there's going to be a lot of this, because there is a lot of incohesiveness. There's a lack of cohesiveness in everything that Trump has espoused, like, tariffs, but low inflation, low taxes, but a low interest rate. I mean, all of it is there's a deep contradiction in his policy set. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities where we as progressives or leftists or even liberals will find themselves in between this fight where the answer is they're both wrong.
And Sam's right about this. They're wrong on both sides, because Elon and Vivek and the other biz bro, tech bro type guys want to just be able to exploit workers from other countries that they can pay less, and they don't have the types of protections that American workers would have. And then, as Jeet said, you have the Laura Loomer and Steve Bannon wing of MAGA, that they're just racist and they're just xenophobic and they don't want any immigrants coming in at all. They don't care if they're legal, illegal, or anything else. But also, like Sam is saying here, talking about there not being cohesiveness with the message, we know based on 2016 that the second go round with Trump is going to be chaotic. He has no core ideology other than whatever benefits him financially, and everything being transactional. So he's going to try to help out Musk because Musk helped to get him elected. But as we know, you're going to have them butting heads over who's really in charge. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Can Trump appease the racist and xenophobic wing while also appeasing the just bizbro wing? Now, I think the money people are going to win out here. And ultimately, what we have to cross our fingers and hope for is that over the next 4 years, they don't turn us into Russia 2.0 and Trump, Elon, Vivek, and the other oligarchs and plutocrats aren't able to just completely hollow out our country.
Because the reasons why they're pursuing their positions are fundamentally different from where ours are. And you don't just get the outcome, right? Like in these fights. If one of these two sides wins, they win with all the baggage that they're bringing to this fight. It's not just the outcome. H1B things exist or they don't exist. It is the foundations of these arguments that are important to counteract as we go into the Trump years, because I don't think I've heard, certainly not, and I don't know who would be the leader of this, maybe it's Bannon, maybe it's Loomer. They're not arguing for more worker rights. They are arguing for less invasion of non-Americans, non-traditional Americans or whatever it is. And Musk is not looking for the melting pot that immigration brings and the durability it brings. He's looking for suppressed wages.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I will say Bannon has said some, he himself is incoherent, but he did say something which is very interesting, which he thought we should really be pushing for Silicon Valley to be 20% Hispanic and 20% Black. And which I would say, thank you for making the argument for affirmative action, but also to actually get to that position, you would actually need a huge sort of investment in American education, and which could be done. Which I think America has the people who could be doing these this sort of work, but you would actually have to really heavily invest in it. And like Bannon, what makes Bannon sort of just a sort of glib propagandist is he throws these things out without actually thinking through how do you actually get to that end point.
Right, without presenting the consequences and making whoever follows him address those the implications of that.
So let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think is going to win out here? Is it going to be the biz bro, tech bro side of MAGA with Elon, Vivek, and the rest of these oligarchs? Or do you think the racist, xenophobic wing will win out? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the base. Will they be as upset by this as, because I feel like the base in general, they fall more on that Loomer, Steve Bannon side. Will they even, they're still in the honeymoon period where the God King cannot be criticized. So I don't know that there's anything that will ever shake them from that. But this has been the one area where there seemed to be a bit of a fracture. Now, the thing is, Trump doesn't need them anymore. He's already gotten the election. And like he said, you don't need to vote ever again. So he already has them. So I imagine the money, as it always does, is going to win out. But what do you think? Is there a possibility that this other wing of MAGA can actually put pressure on Trump to go against Elon? I think there's definitely going to be a falling out with the two of them because, you know, there can only be one sheriff in town. And Trump ultimately, his ego is not going to allow Elon to have as much power as he's having. And Trump's going to fire him at some point. I mean, I don't think Elon even makes it to the midterms. That's my opinion. But let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm almost at 50,000. So I'd like to get across that goal. This is Chris on Culture. I'll see you in the next video.